a Blood Sapphire control deck. Battling on a boat against Herofall here to start. Probably playing Sapphire Wild Momentum. That's what their team's been playing. How to become a better streamer. I've not. I feel like... I don't know. I don't know if that's something I feel like I have authority to talk on. This is a donation deck list, Kendrell. So we're playing card for card what they sent me. I don't know if I'm a fan of 4 Dreamcall right now, but I think some amount of Dreamcall is actually pretty well positioned. The format's kind of changed from what Dreamcall was, and Dreamcall does 2 really important things right now in the current format. And one, Dreamcall can be a guaranteed resource at quick speed, which may seem kind of trivial, but what it actually allows you to do is it lets you un-runebind your interrupts in response to one of your opponent's cards. So basically, like, if they runebind your weave into nothing, you can Dreamcall and then recast your weave in response to one of their things. It also lets you just hit your shard drops consistently, which is nice. And against these blood decks that are playing like Demented Whispers and these blood decks are playing like Demented Whispers and some of them are playing Cockatrices too. The fact that Dreamcall just generates you a critical mass of cards is really important. The fact that a lot of those cards really don't do anything isn't a big deal. So our opponent went Ice Go, and every time your opponent goes Ice Go and you have Nameless Draught on one, just Drop of Chaos them. You might get a free win out of it. If that was their only shard, they definitely Fate Wove a shard to the top, so hopefully they just brick on 2 here. And like here, this hand is a good example of like why Dreamcall seems fine. So like this next turn, I'm gonna go ahead and get a Sapphire with this, and then this Dreamcall is going to go ahead and fetch me my 3rd resource guaranteed, which is good. I need a 3rd resource in this hand. So when you're looking at Dreamcall from a we just need a critical mass of cards or it generates us an extra resource perspective, it's much better than what it was previously. Striding, create a rare portal. Your portal's at -1 cost, sure. I'm gonna go again go ahead and cast this. That way I can go ahead and grab our 3rd resource here. Hey, look at that. It's even the blood threshold we want. Blood Ice. I kind of want to have the best chance to hit a non-slow shard next turn, so I'm going to go ahead and Fate Weave a resource at the top of my deck since I hit it already. Sand's not doing a ton here. The Indian Unknowns aren't terrible. We'll be able to clean up a Pathfinder if my opponent puts them to play. And I'm playing with my AAA Into the Unknowns. I need to steal my AAA Herofalls back from Christie's account. He hasn't been playing recently, so I can play them. So hopefully we'll hit a non-slow shard off this Fate Weave. We can jam this Dark Heart down my opponent's throat. Ding. Have all of our thresholds, just like we drew it up. Your move. So either they have a Runebind or this is dying. This is dying, perfect. This does give them a turn with an unchecked Pathfinder, so I can go like Pathfinder, Shard, Champion Power Shard, and like get 2 draws off of it. But then like if they don't have an answer to this, their Pathfinder is just gonna eat it. All right, every day we hustling. I've got a 1/4. My 1/4 is amazing. I actually don't need this stop on my ready step in this deck. I'm gonna go ahead and play this. I think we're just passing here, right? I could get this bounty going. Nah, I'm just gonna pass. I feel like there's a pretty good chance that my opponent, if they hit a resource, they play Pathfinder, and then we can just Into the Unknown it. Sure. I'm gonna try and start beating us down. This is good sequencing on Hot's part, which is unsurprising. Very good player. They champion powered before they played the Exalted Pathfinder, and the reason why they sequence in this way is I don't get a chance to respond to my opponent playing resources. So, and this trigger isn't something that uses the chain. So this means that my opponent gets the guaranteed 2 draws out of this, even if I have something like Into the Unknown or Herofall here. So their thing got Into the Unknown, but they still like got value out of it, right? Like they picked up 2 cards. Maybe I could chump block here, but I'm probably gonna be able to chump block for slightly more than that later, right? And they dropped it like it was hot. Massacre, huh? Alright, I'm just gonna go ahead and bounty, trying to shard drop here. We bricked. I guess I'm just using this to grab resources at this point. I'm actually gonna grab a ruby here, because when we ascend, the ruby will be nice. I guess it's possible maybe I should have just Dreamcalled for 2 or 3 there, instead of bountying. Herofall's a good pickup though. They'll just take this and all the rest from out of their deck. I'm gonna snap off a chump block this turn if they make this a 6 power guy. Pretty good chance I see a Dark Heart or something sometime soon. Dreamweaver, well that's real bad for us. Huh. That was, they're not actually playing Dreamweaver Ancient. They just, this was the Exalted Pathfinder. Something like turning one must answer threat into another. Shard. That's unfortunate. I think I'm just doing this. We're gonna hit by 4 for this next turn if they have a resource, but we're just kind of stumbling and bumbling here. And it's worth noting too that like we'd have stumbled even harder if we didn't have the Dream Calls, right? Like 2 of these 6 shard drops we've made this game were from these Dream Calls. Other ones got buried. Create a random troop. It's a pretty good value card, right? Like, it makes a troop when they play it, and then when it attacks, it makes a portal. Seems strong. This turn is probably going to be Herofall this, Into the Unknown this. They've got a bunch of resources up, though, so... I wonder if I just want to Massacre now. Yeah, I think so. This takes the Pipit Hustler off the table, because this is a permanent debuff. I'm gonna stop on my opponent's ready step and attempt to hero fall this roaming, whatever it's called. All of the portal cards are animated art in Hex, all of the entity cards. Probably gonna get Runebinded here and be very sad. Yeah, the Runebinding their threat. Which actually, I guess this is kind of loose. I should have let this resolve, because now if they take a shard off of this, they get to flip this immediately back into play. Yeah, that was kind of bad on my part. So, Casualty of War is actually pretty good in this matchup, right? It kills most of their things. Massacre seems pretty terrible. Dark Heart's kind of medium minus. I don't actually think Into the Unknown's good in this matchup. Like, Herofall is fine. I don't think I need 6 copies of it. They don't have any permanents that Herofall's getting rid of. Hogarth is probably fine. Withering Gaze is probably fine. Hogarth's on the board, I assume, for these more controlling matchups. Hogarth seems pretty good against the blood decks in the format. Yeah, for those that are coming in late, this is a donation deck from Uber Mikey. One trim. I probably don't need this Casualty of War. 6 pieces of removal plus the Dark Heart's probably enough. I guess maybe I could trim a Dark Heart. Dark Heart's like only okay. The fact that it doesn't kill their portal guy is kind of a big deal. All the one shard hands. Hey, ice, baby. Do 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 do. Yeah, you can always DM me deck lists. I don't look at deck lists while I'm streaming because there's just too much going on. But I try to look at everything people send me and at least comment on it. So feel free to DM me on Twitch or Twitter. Or Discord if you're one of my subs. Yep, we're just gonna keep stacking resources on top of my deck here. Need double Sapphire for this weave to work. Hey, JW with the 1-year subscription. Welcome. Welcome to the Sapphire Sub Club. Have a sword. Welcome back. Perfect thresholds all the time, every time. Yeah, they're playing the updated. They're playing the deck list that I linked in chat, team chat the other day. This is kind of an interesting card alongside there. So like, I could weave this, but like the dark cards could have cleaned it up anyways. But when it comes into play, they get a portal. So like, I feel like this could go either way. Merry Caravan working the board of the Hogarth meme deck. That's actually a really sweet idea. I like that idea a lot, Radio. That's hot, actually. 10 out of 10. Love that idea. Why would they play Warp Steel Widget as their portal? That seems loose. Yes, portal only makes cards that are thresholds you can play. No fourth shard for my opponent. What you got over there, opponent? Got a whole handful of goodies. Whole handful of goodens. How about I runebind this so you don't get to fate weave? Would that make you sad, opponent? Would runebinding this make you sad? It should make you sad. Make you sad. Alright, another runebind, a verdict. I'm gonna take the runebind even though Verdict's a slightly more flexible card because it's harder to play around Runebind. It's easier for them to leave one resource up. I should have screenshotted their cards. They have a Gargalith, a Pathfinder, a Pipit, a Verdict. Look, if your expectations are low, it's easy for them to exceed it. DJ Darkheart. Wiggle, wiggle, DJ Darkheart. Oh. This is dumb, right? They just have a verdict I know about. Ask me why I'm clicking. Ask me why I'm clicking. So I just went to autopilot. I was like, I don't have a shard. Let's play our cantrip to draw a shard. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Constructed Staple Zito's familiar. So one of the conclusions I came to while testing the Ruby Sapphire deck that we're going to see here in a little bit is you just want to make your shard drops in these control mirrors. Just like stop being greedy. Just like Ice can help you hit your shard drops, Ice can also help you not flood. So just play more resources. I think I'm up to 27 shards in my Ruby Sapphire deck right now. It's kind of great. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Familiar unlocked. Cometh at me, opponent. No more DJ Dark Hearts for you. Oh, we're done. Alright, sure. I'll set a bunch more. Did you poop, child? No. Are you lying to me? I'll be right back. It smells like Declan pooped. Nose, child. Nose. Boop, 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 boop. Here, Brett. Here. What a sad hand to return to. Sorry about that. It's fine. You want to show?
I pick goes.
You pick goes? Alright, I guess I'll allow it.
I will pick weeds.
I told them. Sorry.
I'll pick weeds.
Okay, you can watch. Yeah, you can watch Wings. Wherever you want, dude.
Watch me. Watch me.
First time able to make a stream, stumbled across the past on YouTube a couple weeks ago. I like seeing you play fun decks without taking yourself too seriously. Hey, Brick Wallace, morning. Glad you're enjoying. Wings is super wings. Roaming, Runebind, Weave. Again, I'm just going to go ahead and take the Runebind here. So they have, hey, Parastasis Hex with the brand new Twitch Prime. Thank you very much and welcome. I appreciate that. Subs, as always, absolute best way you could show support for my content here. So thank you. Yeah, we play Magic in the afternoons. So if you check out my schedule, you have a schedule command? Yeah, look at that. Check that out there. I think I'd rather leave up Herofall than Weave here. It's a pretty good hit. So he drew this Runebind too. I think I'd actually rather just pass the turn for now. I think I want to hold up this Weave. Because, like, if I Demented Whisper them and then, like, Runebind their Weave, they're going to have a window to stick Pathfinder next turn. I don't really want that to happen. This one, I can Weave into nothing. And now I can throw a Shard on top of my deck here. And then I can Demented Whisper into Herofall. So this is an Escalate card. So the first time I play this, my opponents will discard one card, and then it buries 3 cards off the top of their deck, and then this puts itself back into my deck. The next time I play that, it's going to require my opponent to discard 2 cards and bury 6 cards off their deck. So even once my opponent's empty-handed, that card eventually just, like, wins the game. So we'll see. So we know they have Pathfinder plus Weave into nothing right now. I'm going to throw another Shard on top of my deck here. Not only does this propel me in my champion power next turn, most likely, but it lets me play Hogarth with Runebind up. Hey, Rad for Life Forever with the brand new Twitch Prime support. Thank you for using your Amazon Fun money here. I do appreciate it. Welcome. Have their hero take a tumble here. Runebind their Weave. Verdict. Okay, is their last card a Runebind? These could be a Halt too. So they have Weave plus 1 card right now. The last card's a Runebind. That was pretty good 2 draws. And that's, like, really unfortunate for me because, like, it's a Shard. I think 4 drops is greedy and unnecessary in this deck. Like, our champion power is pretty good and we want to hit it on 6. Morning, Jeff. That's about Restore Balance. Yeah, you can always message me lists on Twitch or Twitter or Discord if you're one of my subs. I don't look at deck lists while I'm streaming, so there's just too much going on, but I do look at all of them eventually. I'm gonna be aggressive here. I'm gonna Runebind this. So Hogarth's a 5/5 with Spell Shield, and if this hits my opponent, I transform into a different champion, the Hogarth Master of the Arena, and his deck. So my opponent really doesn't want to get hit by this. Oh, my opponent does not want to get hit iced by this. Alright, I drew a Shard because this came off of being Runebound. So they have a Portal Jingle Jing switch. Sure, that's just a chump blocker basically, right? That's pretty good. Allows me to get my champion power here and put an unresourced out by deck, so I'll draw 2 cards, lose 4 life. This is awkward. Because Dark Heart Hogarth is not a combo. I'm gonna hold this Withering Gaze for now. I'm gonna go ahead and ship with this Hogarth. I'm gonna offer this for this as a trade. Jump blocked. Alright, now I'm gonna go ahead and Withering Gaze and see what they have. Predict, sure. Yeah, I'm just gonna play this. Basically, I'm trading my Hogarth for their Pathfinder and like leaving a Dark Heart on my side of the table. And like Pathfinder, especially with their champion power active, is just like one of their ways they could snowball this game away from us. And I feel like I'm kind of ahead right now. I think I'm willing to give up my Hogarth for their Pathfinder. I think that's an okay trade for me. I guess I could just like play these drops as extra damage on my Dark Heart. These cards aren't really doing anything, right? I guess they make actions for my Psychic Ascension if I draw one eventually. We have 2 of those. The Hogarth deck's okay. It's much worse when we don't have 5 charges to activate his champion power right away. It's just... we're playing a combo deck here. Dark Heart kills our Hogarth, kills our Journey to Nightmare. Yeah, 5 Blood Threshold. Just put Bride of the Damned in this deck. Journey gives us a trigger. You're not wrong. And this card's just gonna bury us, huh? Yeah, I mean, can't attack in. This is socketed, so Dark Heart can't make them sacrifice it. This is gonna get to attack us to make a rare portal every turn. Yeah, I guess that's okay. I don't know. It made it MC. And the MC had created a troop. Yo, dog. Yeah, in theory I agree with you. In practice, I'm not sure that's true though. Sure. In ship. This is my Dreamcall. My Dreamcall is amazing. Ooh. Ooh. In a move that comes as a surprise to few, we drew 5 cards and none of them are playable. Not a one. Not a one was playable on that day. On this day of days, not a single Dreamcalled card was playable. Like I said, if you're playing Dreamcall with the intention of generating playable hex cards, you're going to be severely disappointed. If you're playing Dreamcall with the goal of hitting your shard drops consistently and hitting your shard drops oh jeez, oh jeez. And we're gonna take one more turn here because we could draw our Psychic Ascension, I suppose. I feel like the turn that this game really started getting away from us was when Going back to Hex to climb through gold with Bogart. I feel like this game really started getting away from us the turn they ripped the Runebind verdict, that series of turns. It's not a Psychic Ascension. This is game 3. I don't think I really want Massacre against my opponent's control deck post board. Let's try again, shall we? Back into the tank. And like, even if we ended up winning that game, I didn't really feel like we were ahead for most of it. So like, this deck's really kind of inbred in like the cards that it's playing. It's like metagaming to be anti-control from the start. So like, if we've metagamed this deck to be anti-control, and even the games we managed to win against control feel close, like, have we really built a successful deck? Yeah, the dark heart, like, was really mediocrely aggressive, right? It like didn't allow me to play my Journey to Nightmare out, so I never got to do that. It's like when we were trying to test dark heart in the, we had dark hearts in the Blood Diamond Verdict deck initially, and it's just like, why are we doing this? We keep killing our own journeys and our own whatevers. Yeah, the portal cards seem really sweet in Sapphire Wild. What? So if you go to, I believe it's hexsets.com, I believe that has a list of them. Does it? Yeah, it has all the current standard legal champions that you can mouse over them. If you're on mobile, I'm not sure how they come up, but that has all the ones you can mouse over from the 4 standard legal sets. And I believe if you click Immortal, it lets you see all of them. Yeah. So for those just joining us, this is a donation deck list. Uber Mikey sent over a $5 donation for us to play a few matches with this. So getting a feel for card what they sent in, and then giving some feedback on it. I really wish TCG Browser would fix their links so they work in Twitch chat. It's really annoying that they don't. Morning to everyone. Hope everyone's having a great Wednesday wherever you're at in the world. I mean, Hogarth seemed really terrible. It seemed like a card that just died to my dark heart. And like, the Hogarth deck isn't even that good is part of the problem too. It's just like 1 on the board. It's definitely worse than, it was worse than a 3rd Psychic Ascension would have been that game by like a lot, right? Saying seems great. Go Demented Whispers into Demented Whispers. Opponents playing mill. You know what I love to see when I plan to discard 3 cards out of my opponent's deck? I love to see the mulligan. Not competitive for constructed play. So, just like how there's cards that are printed obviously with limited in mind, there's definitely champions that are designed with limited in mind in Hex. I actually don't want to say a number offhand that I know how many champions see constructed play right now, but there's actually a pretty good number of them. Again, the first Demented Whispers makes my opponent discard 1 card and they bury 3 cards off their deck. The next one will make them discard 2 cards. The third one will make them discard 3 cards, etc., and it buries more and more. So we kind of have an alternate win condition in Demented Whispers here. I actually punted here slightly. I should have, knowing that my opponent's also playing a Demented Whispers deck, I probably should have played Nameless Draught last turn, so that way I had this stupid thing to discard. So I'm going to play it now, just in case they have another Whispers. Make my opponent bury 2 cards, or discard 2 cards and bury 6. Who's the berry deck now, opponent? I'm just gonna do this for now. I like Bob's metric a little bit. It's probably somewhere in the 10 to 15 range. If 10 saw one or more. Look at this dark card out, especially now that I've got this Runebind to protect it. Opponent missing their Sapphire Threshold here, it looks like. Runebind my dark card in response. I suppose I could just Runebind their Herofall since they'd lose it. But like they could potentially ready and do something here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and Dreamcall now for the max. This Runebinds my dark card as well, which is nice. Maybe I'm supposed to wait on that because of Herofall. Got another dark card out of that. It's not terrible. Hopefully they don't Herofall this. Opponent doesn't want to play Hex anymore. Right, Casualty of War, Massacre out, Herofall out, Withering Gaze in, Robogoyle in, Into the Unknown in, Hogarth in. It's pretty clean living. Easy in, easy out. So, Brink's one of those cards where, just like Surgical Extraction and Magic, people like to overboard it in Hex. Like, watching Bash coverage the last few weeks and, like, seeing the decks people are boarding in Brink to Madness against, it's just, like, it's kind of hilarious. Just, like, seeing new TCG players in a different game make the same mistakes that Magic players have been making for, like, forever. Ten seems fine. Oh, I guess it's got the Robogoyle in it, makes it a little bit worse. So Robogoyle, this is an anti-mill card. 3/3 flight. If it's buried, it gets put directly into play. And deploy, it puts 5 random cards from my discard pile back into my deck. I don't think a 1/1 unblockable is relevant in most of the decks that are bringing it in. I don't. Like, a lot of them are control decks, so like, a 1/1 unblockable doesn't matter in your control deck. Maybe in an aggressive deck. Maybe in an aggressive deck it's fine. Yep, there's the Demented Whisper. Hey look, I found a use for Hogarth. It does unfortunately brick my Fate Weave, and like, again, we said the thresholds were kind of ambitious in this deck. This Dreamcall can't be a third shard for us because I don't have the second Sapphire threshold currently, and there's only 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, there's only 13 Sapphire thresholds in our deck, so we're gonna brick on the second Sapphire threshold pretty often, honestly. Look, I have this dark card I'm gonna play on 4, so like, the Hogarth wouldn't live anyways, it's okay. Alright. Get to pass back here.
A pick.
You want to pick? Pick a different Joe? You were just watching Wings. Watch School Bus.
No, Wings. I watch Wings. I watch. Bus. Bus.
Alright, so I'll take a shard. Hey, Demented Whispers is not bad. Probably Promiscuous Succubus too. And again, when you're playing Dreamcall with the goal of like making extra shard drops, it's not the worst. So Dreamcall with the goal of creating playable cards, you're gonna be sad. Dreamcall with the goal of hitting shard drops with it, plenty fine. I'm gonna take their Hollow Badges here, right? Prevent them from getting more cards in my discard pile. And again, I'm just gonna go ahead and use this. Hit my shard drop here. Pay 2, draw a shard. Deal. Although that Auspex of Landing Paw probably would have been nice. Hey! Here you go to try the Bogland Mean again. Red for life forever. Thanks for the donation. I don't know if we're gonna get to memes today or not. It might be that for Friday is gonna be our meme day. Or maybe we'll meme after the Magic stream tomorrow. Thank you for the donation. So Robogoyle, even when you play him out, he still puts 5 random cards from your discard pile back into your deck. So still a good anti-mill card. Oh, I guess I knew they had the End of the Unknown, right? That's probably still fine. That's pretty good. Hopefully we can find a Demented Whispers of our own here so we can make them discard their 2 cards. So let's draw 2. Ding, ding, ding. Just like we drew it up. Discard 2, bury 6. Nice deck. Your turn, opponent. Welcome to Slugfest. Okay. Oh, you know what? I probably should have left Runebind up here, right? It's certainly a mistake. Should have played the Succubus, leaving Runebind up. Just clicking before I count. No punish, no punish, no punish! Justice is overrated. Nah, man. Nah, man, Runebind your stuff. Alright, bury 9 cards. We're putting them in the squeeze here. Who's the bury deck now, opponent? Who's the bury deck now? I really do like Demented Whispers as a win condition. It's just like a card that grinds them in the early game, and in the late game you're like, alright, flip your deck over. Alright, flip your deck over. I'm runebinding this because this way my opponent will have to sacrifice it next turn. So they don't get to draw 3 cards with it. So you have to sacrifice the Succubus. Sacrifice this. Bolt Boss Zeppelin. That's cute. I'd have to sacrifice the draw card though. So I'll sacrifice this. If they rip an answer to this dark card, like Into the Unknown, it'd be okay for them. Herofall, they'd have a 6/6 demon left over to deal with. Alright, 1 and 1. One more here, and we'll take a look at the cards this deck contains and see what all it does. It's okay. Opponent's playing Lady Avalanche, so it could be Diamond Wild Momentum or it could be Sapphire Wild Control. One of the two. Gonna go ahead and put another resource on top of my deck. Again, just want to like make sure we hit like our first 5 to 6 consistently in a deck like this. We also need a second Sapphire for the Dreamcall, so Diamond, probably Diamond Wild Momentum. Seems okay against Diamond Wild Momentum. Massacre's Dece. We're kind of light on... We don't currently have an answer to a Goldfather, which kind of sucks. Yep. Child of mine, put your clothes on. Zip your sleeper back up. Zip it up. Don't make me come over there. Oh no, you didn't zip it. I see you not zipped. Hex? Hex is what Magic would be today if Magic was designed, you know, like a lot of the things in Magic, they were designed in 1993, and like Magic set the stage for a lot of games, right? But like they've been afraid to like break away from some of their early things and like really fix and change some of the core things. All right, let's Dreamcall for 2 here. Hey, look at that. No constructed playable cards. All right, I'll get that one and a coin, I guess. Again, mostly playing it to hit resource drop, so less sad when we think of it that way, but still pretty sad. I think I just need to pull the trigger on this Massacre. I don't want to take a hit for a bunch next turn. I don't want them getting more coins off of that one. I mean, Invoker is not good against my opponent's aggro deck. It's like fine in general, but like it's not good against the aggro deck my opponent's playing. I actually don't think the Crusader build of momentum is bad against the blood decks, JW. Do you need help? Need help zipping back up? Zip up. There's the Pathfinder to punish my Massacre. Just curious sequencing. Oh, they put more momentum on the Pathfinder? That seems loose. I feel like you'd want to put momentum on the... that guy. Alright, here's hoping we can draw removal off of their deck, because we're not drawing removal off of ours. I was sent money, Burgle. We're playing Ruby Sapphire Control next. Diamond's Favor. Well, that's a kick in the dick. Hex is free to start. You can search for it on Steam or download it from hextcg.com. You get some free cards. They have a PvE element on the desktop that you can grind to play the game, or grind to get in-game currency and stuff like that. We're getting pretty dumpstered here. Aggro Burgle. Look, Burgle, thresholds actually haven't been our problems in these games, to be fair. And I agree the thresholds are ambitious, but that hasn't actually been the issues that we've had so far. Yep. Thorn Pup with momentum, yep. Maybe we could get really lucky and this Dreamcall will make a... this Dreamcall will make a Massacre. Or a Dread End. Burgle, this entire format is people playing decks and cards that don't respect the aggro decks. It's not just this deck. I think your actions have consequences, and if you're gonna be a shithead, you should expect there to be negative consequences for you being a shithead. That's what I have to say about Wizards banning people. God bless them for finally pulling the trigger. I think the people that are crying foul should maybe like reconsider their life choices and be like, hey, guess what? Maybe I should be less of an idiot and then I would be punished slightly less. Alright, Dreamcall's not good. It's just, I think this Journey into Nightmare is fine. Am I supposed to leave the Runebinds in just because like they're less bad than some of these other cards? So the way momentum works is momentum starts at a number, and every time you play a resource, your troop gets bigger based on its momentum number, and then its momentum goes up by 1. So if you start with momentum 1, you play a resource, your troop gets +1/+1 for a full turn cycle. Then the next time you play a resource, it gets +2/+2 for a full turn cycle. Then 3/3, then 4/4, etc. So the longer it lives and the more resources you play while you have momentum troop out, the bigger it builds and the greater its momentum gets. I think this is probably still a Runebind matchup just because it's good with Darkheart. Get rid of these Dreamcalls and one of these Weaves. It's like play cards that impact the board. Correct, yeah, just everything is perfect, yep. Alright, I mean, yep, this ends everything we want, right? Spot removal, card advantage, win condition. A 4th shard guaranteed on top of my deck. Do you have a budget recommendation for Runebind? Depends on the deck, Rookie XP. What deck are you looking to budget Runebind in? Are you looking to budget Runebind in Sapphire Diamond Control, or are you looking to budget Runebind in Ruby Sapphire Sockets, for instance? Those are the two major Runebind decks right now. The Reanimator Twin deck. In that deck, it's probably a mix of halts or verdicts and like shackling strands or casualties of war. Yeah, I agree, What. 4-cost Darkheart in conjunction with Runebind goes a long way toward making the aggro decks feel really sad about themselves. Completely agree with that assessment. And it's fine, honestly, like, if we're gonna have like one format cycle dominated by mostly control decks, the control decks are diverse and they're interactive, and I think that's fine. And I think when we have our gem rotation with set 9, Darkheart's going to lose that -1 cost gem, and its power level is going to go down pretty significantly. Which is sweet. We just had a format where like there were a bunch of linear decks that were the powerful things to be doing. So if we have, you know, a format cycle where non-linear decks are the powerful thing to be doing, they're heavily interactive, I think that's a-okay. Darkheart's going to be worse in less than 8 months, Tom. It's going to be worse when the next set releases because of gem rotation. I don't even think it's busted. Like, there are socketed aggro decks that are like putting up fine numbers. So I don't think it's at all unreasonable how it is right now. So it's a champ power, draw another card here. We get to Into the Unknown, the Storko next turn. No, Darkheart's kind of uniquely powerful in what it does. Not really, and the Darkheart's not very good in the Sockets aggro deck. No, I don't think so. Darkheart's still, like, really good even in like Herofall's deck. The Runebind in -1 cost is what puts it over the top. The fact that you could like play it on 5 with a resource up, or on 4 if you've ramped, is really powerful. Well, that card's gonna put it right in our pooper. Put it deep inside of me, opponent. Things Dahlia is not a casualty of war. Things she is not a casualty of war. And again, this drop of chaos, just like looking aggressively mediocre, just like wish I could draw 2 cards here, try and find a removal spell for this Dahlia. Can't do that because I had this drop of chaos. Yeah, but I'd be pretty surprised if we didn't see the -1 cost rotate. Action creation is kind of generic and fine. Lube me up. So Dahlia here, 4/5, and she's customizable. So the customization my opponent has in there is a Flight Swift Strike, so she's evasive in their deck. At the end of turn, they illuminate 1. So what illuminate 1 does is it either makes them a new candle or it makes all of their existing candles slightly larger. Drop is like okay versus Fate Weave. It's not good, but like it's fine. I like some number of drops. You'll look, good lord, that's a, oh god. Is Klutz here? Klutz, are you here while we get dumpstered by these Into the Unknowns? Rogue Physicist with the brand new $4.99 a month subscription. Thank you very much and welcome. I do appreciate that. Subs, as always, absolute best way you can support my content here. I'm glad you're here, Klutz. I'm glad you could be here to experience what is happening to me. They get to illuminate again here, so probably make another candle. Yep. Oh, look! I drew another shard and it's another fucking Nameless drop. I am so tilted right now. Stoned Viper, thanks for taking the time to upload to YouTube. 9-month resubscription. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I do appreciate it. 3/4 of a year. Thanks for the continued support. I'm glad you enjoy the YouTube content. Good to have you here while we're live. Oh, look, now their Scary Flying Troop has momentum. Maybe we'll be really lucky and they left removal in their deck. We can draw removal off of their deck. So no, Lord knows we can't draw relevant removal off of our deck. Oh, look! Another Ardent card. They must be playing the Crusader build, right? Yeah, they must be playing the Crusader build. Which I actually think the Crusader build is pretty good. I think it's good against a lot of these blood decks. Alright, I mean, that's a Massacre that kills Dahlia. It makes this manageable. So you're saying there's a chance. We're actually in a pretty good spot this game, right? Like, I've been complaining a lot, but we're actually winning this game now, right? Hey, look, a resource that gives me a charge. God bless. Screaming fox. Oh yeah. I don't know how you could ever possibly win. I've Demented Whispered you. Good luck, opponent. Good luck. Finally found someone that could die in the war. War's coming for you, Mr. Leprechaun. It's not gonna be pretty. If they attack with this, I'm gonna take 1. I'm gonna gobble this guy up. I want to be able to kill this and then Demented Whisper them immediately afterwards, so that way I discard cards out of their hand. Sweet. Alright, so I'm gonna casualty this. I'm gonna Herofall this. I'm gonna Demented Whisper. They have to discard one of their cards. Everything looks better in blood, baby. Yeah, they're playing the Crusader build. How is Hex doing nowadays? They just released on PlayStation 4 in the US, and they had a pretty big player base resurgent, a pretty big player base edition from that. Past that, they're going to be releasing on the PlayStation in Europe and other markets sometime soon, they said. And then we're supposed to see a tablet version before long as well, so that'll be sweet. As far as tournaments go, they're still having tons of great tournaments. They have 2 $1,000 cash tournaments you can play every single weekend. You're someone that's into qualifying for stuff. They're still doing their Cosmic Crown Showdown every other month. So top 64 players on each ladder gets invited to that as a $5,000 tournament. I believe they plan to come to other consoles at some point. But I don't know if they've said anything official with regards to that. Alright, my bounty draws 3 cards, deal. This is my bounty. My bounty's amazing. To Massacre or not to Massacre? That doesn't work how I want it to work. Alright, it's dead. That's true. Fair criticism. I think we're ahead. I can't actually tell if we're ahead or not. Unsure if we are ahead or not. You don't redraw that into the unknown, Bucky, right? This is your martyred saint. Your martyred saint is amazing. Alright. You feel like there's gonna be a massacre next turn. Holy crap, these stupid Nameless Draughts have just been like sliding me out of my chair. I guess we're actually gonna bail them out, right? We're like actually going to bail them out. It's like drop it like it's hot, drop it like it's hot, bum 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 bum, drop it like it's hot, drop it like it's hot. We a berry deck, boys. We a berry deck, boys and girls. We milled the monkey. Game is over. Yep. Alright, on the draw. This game's much easier on the draw, right? The budget candles deck is one of the best ones. So, I'd actually like to talk about that game a little bit. So, we've played 2 games so far with this deck, and we lost one, and the game we lost very quickly. And the game we won, we spent a long time winning. And this is kind of a psychological thing in TCGs. It's very easy to become biased towards a control deck when you're testing it, because when you're testing a control deck, you spend a long time winning the games you win, and you spend very little time losing the games you lose most of the time. So often, mentally, you think your control deck is better than it actually is, because you've spent more time winning, even though you've actually won less games a lot of the time, unless your deck is really truly busted. And the same thing for when you're playing an aggro deck, the inverse is true, right? Like, when your aggro deck is winning, it wins games very quickly most of the time. And when your aggro deck is losing, you spend a lot of time losing most games. So it's very easy to become biased for control decks and biased against aggro decks. And it's something you really want to be conscious of when you're testing, and like make sure you're actually logging the games that you play. So, did they board a Goldfather out? They did not. Smart. I was gonna be surprised. Never board the Goldfather out. He'll come for you in your sleep. It's really important that you write stuff down, so you try to avoid getting caught up in those things. It's a very easy mistake to make. It is a very, very easy mistake to make. So make them discard a card, bury their Fate Weave here. I think I want a Shard here. Probably. I'm going to chump block this Crusader and then Massacre next turn, most likely. Hopefully we don't get Broseed. If we get Broseed here, we're just very dead. That doesn't play Broseed. My Ardent Momentum deck plays one Priestess, Tom. Looks like Sargo's playing the Ardent Momentum deck that we streamed with a little bit. So this takes them down to 4 power in play. This Righteous Whackshot will die on their turn when this happens. I'm playing Bounty of the Magus because the deck list that someone sent me $5 to play had Bounty of the Magus in it. Hey, you weren't attached to those cards in your hand, right? Decree, Nature Trains, alright. I'm gonna hit this now. I'm not gonna into the Unknown this turn, I don't think, so I'll try and hit a Shard. Ding. I'm not really a huge fan of Bounty of the Magus for the reason Tom just said. You have to cast 4 copies of Bounty of the Magus for it to end up being actually better than... I think if your deck is making Sapphire anyways, that is true, What? I think if your deck is set up to make Sapphire anyways, I agree with that assessment. Alright, so this is going to leave them 2 Phantoms. This is going to die on their turn when the momentum wears off. That being said, they draw an Ardent Troop, it comes back, but I just need to, like, take some... Hopefully they brick on this for a turn. Nope, of course not. Oh, and this isn't even summoning sick, is this just lethal? I think this is just lethal, right? This can attack? No, it can't. This just doesn't even really do anything, right? I guess it kinda does. I'm gonna pass the turn here because I want to make this a 5/5 on their turn. They might sacrifice this Martyred Saint, though. Hopefully they sack a Phantom. Sweet. So now we can Into the Unknown this, and then Darkheart can eat this Crusader inside of combat. So I'm gonna go ahead and block here, and then Into the Unknown this Saint, which makes this bigger and makes this smaller. I feel like because Klutz is here, we're just getting dumpstered by these fucking Into the Unknowns every single game. This is your fault, Klutz. I want you to know, Klutz, that this is your fault. This is your fault, Michael Klutz. This is you're the reason I can't have nice things. Look at that. PA might save us. Alright, not dead on board. Trigger. Alright, dead on board. Got a Psychic Ascension trigger and a draw step. Massacre. Alright. Champ power. What do we got? Mirror, you say. How about some Phantoms? How about some Phantoms? Ooh, what does this do? Put up to one target troop into its controller's hand. Deal. We're gonna pull it out here, Klutz. Ooh, Demented Whispers. Trigger. The old 1-2 combo, kill your opponent's llama herder. Are we doing it, chat? Are we doing it? Is Hex a skill game and does the better player always win? I feel like I've proven... No, that was a different game, Tom. That was last game. There's no monkey in their deck right now. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. We're doing it. We're doing it. Choose lucky every single time. Never not lucky, ladies and gentlemen. Never not lucky. Boop. Bury you. Get rid of your Fate Wave. Hope you weren't counting on that Fate Wave. Get this Journey to Nightmare up in here. Luck is a skill. Look, you gotta practice rigorously to be this lucky, okay, people? Rawr. And this is why these control decks are so clunky and inbred. Because, like, I'm gonna beat this aggro deck most likely here, and our control deck is embarrassingly clunky, and there's no justice in the world, because Darkheart's really good. Psychic Ascension is the control finisher of all control finishers. Destroy target opposing troop. Oh, yeah, and I control a constant. What value? Just the boom shroom. Oh, baby. Demented Whispers. Ooh, Vampire Prince. Don't mind if it does. Oh, this is why every you know, kinda. The Ruby Sapphire deck we're gonna play doesn't play 2 PAs. Alright, so thoughts on this Sapphire Blood deck. 4 Nameless Draughts is 100% too many. 2 or possibly 3 could be correct. I'm inclined to say 2 Nameless Draughts is correct, because this deck really kind of wants to hit its champion power on 6 a lot of the time. I don't know that I'm in love with Bounty of the Magus, but at the same time, I don't know that I wouldn't feel comfortable trying to play Heart's Whisper in this deck because there's only 13 Sapphire thresholds. Honestly, I feel like maybe you just want to, like we talked about, just adding shards to the deck. That doesn't seem unreasonable. But the Ruby Sapphire deck we're going to play here in a minute is playing 27 shards currently, and I've been pretty happy with that number. I'm not quite sure what this deck is aiming to do because I felt pretty behind against other control decks, and we also kind of struggled and had to get a little bit lucky to beat aggro. So like I feel like we're kind of missing on both marks while also having like this resource base that's kind of inconsistent. So I don't know that I was a fan necessarily. The other like awkward part was like Darkheart plus Constance is like not a combo. It was awkward with our Journeys, it was awkward with our Hogarths, but Darkheart's a good card, so like maybe this just isn't a Journey to Nightmare deck and it's a Darkheart deck. I could see that being the case, so only different things you could try in that respect.